You're watching Investors Guide on ET Now. Thank you for staying with us. Those of you who just tuned in, Merry Christmas to you and to your family. We are re-looking at our portfolios. On this show, we've designed mutual fund portfolios that we revisit on a regular basis. And today we're looking at those portfolios. Dhirendra, of course, joins us in our Delhi studio. He is the architect of all of these portfolios. Dhirendra brings us brand new portfolios this year. These are two new portfolios, the first of which is a low-cost portfolio. It's also a portfolio that largely relies on indexing. Dhirendra, tell us what the advantage of indexing and of finding a low-cost portfolio really is.
Indian funds are expensive. The expenses are high, and they are likely to get higher. From that standpoint, these two funds are extremely low cost. In fact, the Nifty ETF is available at 50 basis points. The other one is available at 1%, and going by our weightage, our portfolio will have a weighted average cost of about 75 basis points, which is very low, which is nearly a quarter of an actively managed fund. That apart, all else being equal, low cost will translate into superior return, because if you are earning X percent and if 2.5% or 3% of it is deducted every year, compared to that, another thing which is earning Y% and or X%, and that only 75 basis point is getting deducted from it annually. In a 5-10 year time period, the difference in cost itself will translate into something substantial.
So this is our brand new portfolio on Investors Guide. It's a low-cost portfolio. It's largely indexing. Remember, it makes sense, like Dhirendra said, because the charges on this portfolio are less than 1%. Two funds in this portfolio, the Goldman Sachs Nifty Bs and, of course, the Goldman Sachs Junior Nifty, 70-30% split of your money. The second portfolio that Dhirendra has brought to us this year is the international portfolio. In it are the Birla Sun Life International Equity Plan A, the Motilal Oswal Most Shares Nasdaq, Principal Global Opportunities and the Sundaram Global Advantage. Dhirendra, tell us what the advantage is of putting together an international fund and what kind of return do you hope for from this portfolio?
One is that you have plenty of international funds to choose from. And the reason why you invest in a mutual fund is to diversify quickly, efficiently, is the reason why you should invest in an international fund, that you can diversify globally. And so diversification is a goal, and this is a way to achieve it. The kind of funds chosen here is, we are not having any exotic fund. We are, all my selection here, except for the NASDAQ 100 ETF, is a globally diversified portfolio. And even the NASDAQ 100, my thinking is that though it is a US domiciled, all the underlying companies are domiciled in the US, but the companies have a global market. What return to expect? I would say that over any long period of time, you are able to mitigate risk by having your international allocation. Other is that over any long period of time, because of the return differential of the developed market, interest rate differential, our currency will depreciate, and that should translate into higher return from these portfolios, or at least comparable returns with far greater stability.
Dhirendra, obviously this is not my primary portfolio. One of the six funds, six portfolios that we already talked about will be my main portfolio, and this is something I will add to that. So how much of my money should go into this international portfolio that you've designed for us?
I would say that, one should start thinking in terms of, increasing your allocation to international portfolio to the tune of 20-25% over, and maybe 30-40% over time, because our markets will become increasingly more volatile. And the reason why you should have it is when our markets will not do well, these will act as great balancing factor in your portfolio.
All right, so an allocation of up to 30%, Dhirendra says, in our international portfolio. I'm going to give you a quick recap of the funds that Dhirendra has picked for this international portfolio. We have, of course, the Birla Sun Life International Equity Plan A, the Motilal Oswal Most Shares Nasdaq, the Principal Global Opportunities and Sundaram Global Advantage. Now, those are the portfolios that have been designed on this show. Of course, Dhirendra is going to stay with us through the coming year, and we're going to review these portfolios on a regular basis, which means that you can keep writing to us if you have any questions about the portfolios you heard about. Now, before we wrap up the show, of course, I have more gifts for you, more investment tips from our guests. Gaurav and Karthik are standing by with investment tips. Gentlemen, what tips do you have for us this year?
Towards the end of a year, which is somewhere near Christmas, me and my wife go on a special dinner. And in that dinner, we sit and discuss. So this is over and above the other celebrations that we have. We sit and discuss the areas more so of leisure and entertainment as to how much money we will spend. And it's a kind of menu card that we have. We decide that how much we'll spend on vacation, how much we spend on clothes, what we will splurge. And that's what I say viewers should do. Go on that special date with your spouse, a special date to decide your financial menu card and stick to it. It'll kind of help you in a big way in terms of being disciplined about your spending and avoiding any kind of uncomfortable arguments with your spouse as far as spending is concerned.
Whenever you buy a property, depending upon the state in which you're buying, as well as the builder who you're buying from, there might be certain other charges that have to come out of your pocket, which is why it's important that you can afford all these other charges as well. Such charges could range from registry fees, when you go to the sub-magistrate's office to register the property in your name, or it could be something as basic as club membership fees, fees that you pay to the local housing society, or parking charges. All of these have to be paid to the builder before the property gets transferred into your name or before you're the rightful owner of that particular property. So it's important to understand that all these charges are also affordable by you.